Hello everyone, welcome back for another week of exciting matches here in the OSU.
Yeah, it is the completely different landscape from what you're used to last year. Well, China and Indonesia, China especially has been known to switch the roster every year, more or less.
Yeah, they have a very, very deep kind of pool of players that they can pick from China. There are so many players in that country that are just like world class in tournament performance. So it's been good seeing some new players. Obviously, having some new names every year is nice and exciting, makes it a little bit less predictable in a way. And speaking of that, I mean, Indonesia also coming off the back of almost having a seeding upset themselves against Hong Kong earlier in this tournament. So they've actually been performing well above their seed level, at least so far. But important to note as well that we didn't actually see Indonesia play any of last week's pool because of an unfortunate situation that happened with Romania.
Yeah, unfortunate indeed. It's not of their own volition, if I remember correctly. But speaking of surprising, Indonesia protecting SV is kind of unheard of to me.
I think that makes so much sense. That makes a lot of sense here because, from what I've seen from Indonesia so far, they looked very strong. Oh, wait a second. Wait, what?
Double SV protect.
Wait, I've never seen
Let's
this.
Go.
I've never seen this before. Double SV protect.
SV protect, let's go! As an SV puller, I'm completely elated right now.
That's crazy. Well, we're gonna see both of them this match. Wait, that's why
crazy.
Would China protect SV1? I don't understand that protect from China. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like
China, it's a statement.
China should be stronger. In my mind, I feel like China is, like, they are much higher seeded. And especially when we're kind of approaching that late game of the tournament, these maps are getting a lot harder. I feel like China's players should scale a lot better into the late game.
Yeah, especially since, like, the SVs have been going through I want to say odd transition in terms of difficulty. Break Me is going to be a lot more abrasive in terms of gimmicks, whereas First Frost is a little bit more abrasive in terms of accuracy difficulty.
I mean, I agree that China have looked very good on SV, but Indonesia also have looked very good on SV this tournament so far. And I would have expected, I don't think Indonesia has looked necessarily the greatest when it comes to the LNs and hybrids. They did struggle a little bit when it came to some of those picks, even in round of 32. So I find that how this has gotten pretty interesting because I mean, unless Indonesia falls off quite a lot in the Rice aspect, I feel like Indonesia might be very happy with how this pick and ban has played out.
Why are we starting with SV2? Why are we starting with SV2?
Hey, why not? Why not? Let's just get it on.
And also, why did the ban go towards hybrid? Who bans the hybrid?
Indonesia bans the hybrid. I feel like, I feel like it might make sense for some of these teams maybe to ban hybrid. It's kind of possible that maybe they have kind of a strong Rice lineup and then maybe some players that are only comfortable with the LNs. So combining the two, sometimes there might be teams that are, particularly in some of the lower seeds, that might not have the players for both at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising to see none of those teams really touching upon the Rice subject. And I want to say, like, the Rice subject is going to be touched upon later down the match, which is really uncommon to see.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing all of them up. I'm just still really confused about what China's... I mean, China's obviously going to show us why they protected the SV1 later on in this match, right? But I'm still interested because I feel like right now, Indonesia, like, out of almost all of the teams left in the tournament, Indonesia is the biggest question mark still for me. Because they look super good in round of 32. All of their players I basically have no knowledge of, and they didn't even play last week. So I don't even know what their scores are for the round of 16.
Yeah, honestly, we're completely blindsided here. We do not know what to expect, and especially on an SV that is as uncommon as First Frost. I feel like this SV pick, the outcome of this SV pick is going to tell us absolutely nothing about the outcome of SV1. It's like how different those two SVs are.
Yeah, I mean, because of that, I feel like there's a pretty good chance that we're just going to see both SVs right away, which is not something you see every day.
Man, what an opener.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Indonesia's protect here, so you can bet that they practiced this one, and it's a long one at the same time. And actually, Yubi dropping in accuracy just a little bit. Still in the 99% range though, so it shouldn't really affect too much just yet.
Yeah, I feel like both of those teams have equal proficiency on the SVs for now. I feel like the accuracy is more or less balanced because Ganyu Angel is going to be dropping some accuracy equally to Yubi.
Oh, that was almost a miss from Ganyu Angel as well. I saw a 50 in there, dropping down to the 99% flat. And I'm gonna go insane if we're seeing an accuracy battle on SV2 who lost the whole map.
Yeah, this
Surely
is the oddest accuracy battle I've seen. Like, Ganyu Angel is dropping a lot more accuracy than Yubi, and Yubi is actually building back that accuracy.
Yeah, those are some pretty rough drops from Ganyu Angel. And oh, actually, that's a miss as well, so really not finding this comfortable. And I gotta say as well, kind of to spectators in this client right now, it does not look as hard as it actually is. This map is ridiculously hard.
Yeah, honestly, like all of the the music itself, the song choice itself is like really, I guess unstable. Man,
yeah, and
like, Angel, what is happening?
It's some of these like SV changes as well being so like subtle as well that really just throws you off. It's so tempting to just play this as if, you know, there's no SV, and actually Yubi's going to find a miss of themselves, but the accuracy difference is quite large at this point, so I think that's 2 misses from Ganyu Angel and 1 miss from Yubi so far. Accuracy advantage still on Indonesia, both teams actually having 2 players each with a very similar full combo.
Yeah, honestly, like, playing around with this unpredictability in terms of SV really sets the nerves to an all-time high, and Yubi is going to miss again, trading again, but the advantage is still substantially towards Indonesia right now.
Yeah, and this accuracy lead is growing even further as well, as Ganyu Angel is really struggling to maintain the composure as the map goes on here. 96.8% is the accuracy, falling further and further behind Yubi, which is essentially who they're trying to compete with right now.
Yeah, honestly, this is a really interesting dynamic to see on this SV2, and I'm interested to see more teams play on this SV2 because it has been a really uncommon show.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, look, we've been talking a lot through this map about Ganyu Angel and Yubi specifically, but the other 4 players have kind of been crushing it. Like 99% FCs, like well above 99% FCs for the other 4 players, Turks, Nyas, and Fanboy, Bran, and Wishty Knight. So you can definitely see why Indonesia would want to protect this. This is a very strong team score overall from them. Just 1 player on China that's not entirely comfortable, understandably so. But still, that is going to be the first point for Indonesia, winning their own protect.
Yeah, looking at the other scores outside of Yubi and... wait, I completely forgot.
Ganyu Angel.
Yubi and Ganyu Angel, outside of those scores, like all of the other scores are completely the same, and like all around 975 more or less. So I feel like all of those players have equal proficiency on this SV, and I wonder if it's going to be exactly the same on SV1. I think it's going to be completely different.
Oh my god, they are picking SV1.
I'm just
wait,
speechless.
hang on. Are China switching out 2 of their players?
No way, they have different lineups for different
They're
SVs.
switching out 2 of their play. No, okay, wait, Ganyu Angel's coming back. Okay.
Okay.
It's 1 player switching out though.
Nah, that's
Even that's pretty unusual.
Yeah, that's really rare. We're seeing some new stuff here on Those Survive.
I mean, that happens as well. I feel like a lot of players in China are also very proficient at the SV. And... oh, wait, hang on a second. They're switching out Nyasen Fanboy for Dornex. Nyasen Fanboy was the MVP of the first SV as well. Which is very interesting to see. Of course, you've said it as well, this is a very, very different map to SV2, so it's hard to really compare the scores directly, but still very interesting to see the MVP of SV2 being switched out for SV1.
Yeah, honestly, like, sharing the workload between the SVs, if all of your team players can actually play SV, is a really smart thing to do. If you're able to do so to your team, that is.
Yeah, I mean that's something that would be really cool to see a lot more often. I think the only problem is that there's almost no teams in the world that can really say that they have more than 3 SV players. I mean, Japan is the only one that really sticks out. There's probably all 6 players on Japan can probably play SV, but other than that, I mean, China's having a good go at it now. We'll see how Dornex performs here in the place of Nyasen Fanboy.
Yeah, I feel like as much as we've seen other teams on Rise or LN switch some of their players depending on individual picks, this is also pretty comparable to what's happening right now. I feel like every category has, I guess, this individual pick dynamic that is potentially applicable.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll have to see. I think it's really cool to see both of these SV, just in general. Both of these SV being played, like, back-to-back, I think is just awesome. So we'll see. Can China win their own pick? Look, if I was in China's position, I already said this, I would not pick this, but they're going for it. They're super confident. We'll see if that pays off.
Yeah, I mean, they have a completely different lineup. Who knows? Maybe this lineup is gonna ace this completely.
Yeah, the same lineup here for Indonesia as well. And this map gets really crazy as well. There are a lot of very kind of in-your-face, abrasive kind of teleports that happen towards the midsection of this map. We're already seeing some of them right away. Actually, all players holding strong accuracy, at least so far.
Yeah, I feel like accuracy-wise, China is a lot more comfortable on this one than Indonesia right now. See on the trills, Yubi, oh god.
Yeah, and it's so punishing to miss on these trills as well, because if you do mess them up, you're dropping accuracy so much. And look at Yubi's accuracy right now, 94%. It drops right down in the matter of seconds.
Yeah, we saw a big advantage on SV2 from Indonesia. We're seeing a big advantage for China on SV1. These are completely different SV picks.
Yeah, it is so... you can just see it here in the difference of the comfort level overall right now. I mean, Ganyu Angel all like flipped all the way around now. Ganyu Angel is one of the highest scores in the entire lobby. Finding this one way more comfortable, while Yubi is the one now suffering a fair amount. Wishty Knight also struggling a little bit more compared to the other players. But this one feels like it is done already, even at the halfway mark. 167k, this is not recoverable.
Yeah, China actually correctly called Indonesia's bluff, because usually when you lose SV, you do not want to pick SV, but China was confident enough that they actually picked both of the SVs back to back, and that was the correct call.
I mean, no. Yeah, this is just weird.
I mean,
this is just an unusual. This is a new experience for me to see this kind of thing unfold.
Yes,
with both teams being so confident as well. It's just crazy.
Yeah, this is MWC. Remember, this is MWC. I've never seen this in MWC. This is like I've never even seen this in other tournaments, like 4EM. I've never seen this. I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, no tournament I've ever really seen like both. So after Indonesia protects SV2, China immediately protects SV1, then China lose SV2, and then say, "Nah, we win SV1. Oh, we're still gonna pick it." Like. The amount of confidence that takes. I mean, look, it's proven to be correct. This is an extremely strong team score from China.
Yeah, like having people who can actually FC this, like you saw how abrasive those gimmicks are. Like Donex with an FC, Turks with an FC. I don't remember the other scores.
Yep. As soon as they're gone from the screen, I've forgotten them.
Yeah, my attention span can only go so far. I'm gonna check the MP link.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't look at Yubi's score.
Oh.
Ganyu Angel did find one miss towards the end, but no big deal at the end. That's almost a triple FC from China. Over 970k average. And now we're finally going to see a pick that is not SV.
Yeah, let's go into something that we're more used to seeing, because that was a spectacle.
Oh, wait. Oh, we're getting all the spicy picks. Why are these being picked first? Oh, okay. OSU Original coming up here, by the way. We're going to be seeing the Jack pick.
OSU Original, by the way.
This is an interesting one to pick right away. I mean, Indonesia, they did perform very well against Hong Kong of all teams on Rice picks. So I think it is a good idea for them to go towards Rice in general. But generally, the Jack pick out of all the Rice picks is one of the more risky ones, because you know for a fact that China, they have very strong accuracy on something like this, and you're kind of relying on the other team to maybe find a little bit of a choke here or there.
Yeah, I feel like for that reason, Core Jax is one of the least predictable picks, because it also is very combo dependent, very choke dependent, and that can happen to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen to anyone as well, and that, like, it doesn't take very much of a choke to completely swing the match. Like, compared to some of the other picks, maybe some of the more technical picks, if you miss once, oh, no big deal. If you have strong accuracy, then you could, still win. It still can be close. In a Jack pick, if one team FCs, they win. If you miss once, it's over. If you get a few 200s, it could be over against a strong team like China. So there's not really much room for error for either of these teams.
Yeah, there are several possible setups for the results. Like, both teams can FC, both teams can choke, one team can choke and the other team FCs, and there's a certain combination of possibilities in terms of miscount as well, and accuracy differential. But it
does tend to depend mostly on the misses. That tends to be the case, unless obviously both teams FC. I don't usually expect both teams to FC, but we've seen it happen. Obviously, I feel like maybe China has the accuracy advantage overall if they were to FC it. So Indonesia's plan probably to get China to find one of these unfortunate misses at some point, which is very realistic to happen.
Yeah, that's also why those Core Jack maps are specifically architectured to be chokeable, especially towards the end, like the later half. I think that's the case with this one.
Oh, this one, it picks up the density quite a lot towards the last half, for sure. Mm-hmm. We get a nice and chill intro here, no big deal, nothing crazy happening. Why is there a 9,000 lead? What? Where's this lead coming from? OSU client?
No, it's Mr. I don't know, who is a tiny bit behind in terms of combo and accuracy.
I don't think he's 19,000 points behind. What's going on here?
Oh, okay. I guess that was a client.
Okay. Wait, hold on.
All right.
China in the lead by 182,000 points. Incredible.
Oh my god, 79 points. What is
Fieri
Indonesia
on
doing?
2% accuracy. No, okay. Back to normal. And actually, wait, where's this lead coming? Oh, I don't know what High has missed earlier on. But no, never mind. They did not miss. And actually, it's China in the lead by 6,000 points just off of accuracy. We still have 6 FCs here. What? Wait, what's going on? I don't know.
Score display, please. This is entirely confusing, so I'm just gonna try and compare the accuracies.
Yango's the one that's struggling a little bit compared to the other players in the lobby right now. Struggling down to 99.7, but it does look like Yanga still has the full combo, so this is ending up being pretty close. 5,000 points is a small lead. One miss could do it definitely, and I think I saw a 50 there from I don't know what High.
Yeah, I mean China can still choke because the most intense part of the map is here.
Yeah, and
oh no,
Yanga finding a miss. That is the first miss, I do believe. And that gives a big advantage over Brand finding another miss as well. China now have a huge advantage just as Indonesia was starting to claw back the lead. I think that was within 2,000 points at one point in that ending there, but Indonesia just struggling a little bit to hold on to the combos. And it's going to be a three-way... I don't know what I think is having some lag spikes or something, because I'm seeing some very strange judgments here and there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take a look at the final results because I'm confused. Like, this entire match has been confusing for various reasons.
Yeah, I think it's just... I don't know what. I think that screen is bugging out a little bit in some cases here.
Okay, I have the MP link right next to me, and what are those scores from China? Excuse me?
Oh my god, Ganyu Angel got a 100 as well. That's an MVP of the lobby with a 100 at 41 300s. Oh my god.
Like, mind you, this is a losers bracket match in theory. Has a 998k. And look at those ratios. Bran has a really good ratio as well, matching Mr. I Don't Know from China. Yanga, a tiny bit behind, but still very decent. Like, 976 is nothing to scoff at. Like, without the misses, this could definitely go towards 990k.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the accuracies alone, Indonesia's top 2 scores were tying China's top 2 scores. It was really just the difference between Yanga and Yasin Fanboy that was making up the whole accuracy difference on that front. But of course, accuracy wouldn't have mattered either way if China managed to pull off those 3 full combos like they did. So it does look like China is off to a bit of a breakpoint start here. 2-1 now, and China get their own pick.
What's that, a break? Like that?
That was a breakpoint, yes.
I don't understand this match. What is going on?
We're seeing some wild things happening. I mean, in hindsight, even in hindsight, I still think that was a pretty good pick from Indonesia. They looked very strong on it overall. Even if they ended up losing the point, I think that was a fairly strong pick, at least for their team in particular. And we'll see how it goes with the other picks, but I feel like that was one that they should be fairly strong at.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I think you're entirely correct on Indonesia picking Korchaks with confidence that they would do well on it. Because Fieri's score was like probably one of the best that we're gonna see in the week. 93 300s. The double S is a really, really good score. And yeah.
For sure.
Oh, okay.
And we're seeing an LN pick from China. I like the idea to go for the LNs. I would have liked personally for China to pick LN1, but unfortunately they banned it. So we're seeing LN2 instead, which is fairly like a much more straightforward pick here with that's more of a LN density focus. Now I'm also a little bit nervous for China about this one because I do recall a bit of an LN2 being picked in the match between Indonesia and Hong Kong, and I believe that point was decided by 100 points.
Oh, that's scary for sure.
And that was not off the back of Hong Kong playing badly at all. That was Indonesia playing insanely well on the LN density. So I feel like this might be one, or at least out of all of the LN and hybrid picks, this might be Indonesia's best shot at a point against China.
Yeah, get that breakpoint back. And since Indonesia is one breakpoint down from China, they have to catch that breakpoint back, and that is the perfect occasion to do so. Well, to be fair, considering how this match is going, I feel like the breakpoint could go anywhere.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I do think there is also kind of one caveat to what I said, is that the Indonesia-Hong Kong match was 2 rounds ago. That was in round of 32. We are in a very different difficulty level at this point in the tournament, and the BPM is way higher, up at 206 now. So the question really is, to me, is that can Indonesia still catch up or still keep up with this level of BPM at this level of density? And if they can, they do have a real chance. But, I mean, Dornex being on their team does help that, if he's switching countries.
Well, funny stuff happening in the lobby right now. Some switching going on.
Well, some internet issues would be consistent with what we saw in the previous map.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it looks like we are, we're in with the teams here. China being able to switch out their players quite regularly, which is a nice luxury that they have. Indonesia are going to have to stick with similar teams each time. They are switching out Brand for Wishty Knight though.
Yeah, I think like China's team is really interesting in that I've seen, well, as far as other countries go, I've seen a lot of all-rounded countries, but China goes the extra mile in being all-rounded.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of imagine almost all of China's players playing any pick. It's like, you could probably throw any 3 Chinese players in any map and I'll go like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think China having a really extensive tournament scene also helps in getting all of their players really all-rounded in all tournament skill sets.
Wait a second. Hold on, what do we have here? Nyasan Fanboy dropping an accuracy just a little bit, down to 99.4. And actually these accuracies are very close, but Yanga now dropping in the accuracy. Fieri also dropping a little bit of accuracy now. Does switch the lead over to China by a little bit.
Yeah, Dornex is gonna go against Wish tonight.
But this is a really short map, so this lead is not very safe at all. This could flick back really quickly.
Yeah, Fieri is gonna go against Tix. Yes, and Thunderboy is gonna go against Yanga. Yanga has to build that accuracy back up.
And actually, I mean, the accuracies are still staying close despite this lead. It's starting to grow just over time, but China's highest accuracy is still at 99.6, just matching Wishty Knight right now. It's really just the story of Yanga and Fieri dropping just ever so slightly below in terms of the accuracy.
Yeah, China doing a really great job at maintaining their average accuracy around 99.6. Indonesia is a little bit below, and Yanga's gonna miss, and that's gonna put the lead definitely towards China right now as we're approaching the end of the pick.
Yeah, there's just not much time left anymore. Even if there were misses from China at this point, the accuracy lead is so strong. Yanga does drop down to the 99% flat, and 20,000 points is just not recoverable, especially now we're in the outro section here.
Yeah, maybe 206 BPM is a little bit too much, and Witch Knight is also going to fall prey to this density.
Maybe just a little touch too much here, but Indonesia still with a strong performance. Until that point, they were holding on to the triple FCs. They still do have 3 99% scores on their end, but China have that one little bit better with the 3 FCs, and a big difference in their team ratios as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dawn X has a actually crazy ratio there.
Yeah, those are really nice even scores from China. It really goes to show how unified China is in terms of team performance. We even saw that on the SV, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a product of what happens when you have so many players, like so many strong players, is that your worst, like quote unquote, worst player in the match is still going to be very, very strong. And that's really the key sometimes to winning these team tournaments.
Yeah, casually clone your own players and have 6 of the same player. That's almost China. I don't want to say anything else. I mean, those are definitely... I'm just kidding, by the way. Those are definitely like 6 different players. But it sometimes feels like China has 6 very similar profile of players just playing at their best.
I know, I mean, Turks could probably play 2 players at once, right? The 7-key player.
8k.
Yeah, it's just 8k. It's just 8 key, right? Just do it with 2 hands.
Oh, we're going into Rice, finally.
Yeah, okay, back into the Rice, and we're gonna be seeing the Frums pick here. I'm not gonna try and pronounce that, but it is a Frums pick, and we know what to expect from Frums picks in general. This one is fairly technical, but also not quite as technical as some of the other ones. But also, I think importantly for Indonesia, this one is very short, which means that once again, they're going to be trying to hope for China to find a miss. Now, China hasn't really been missing, but surely at some point we are going to be seeing something coming out of China that maybe gives Indonesia a bit of a door into, a bit of a foot in the door, I should say, into another one of these points.
Yeah, the thing is, you saw how the score lead went towards China when the miss happened. So the same could happen towards the other side. This match, all things considered, has been pretty balanced. And I do wonder how the Rise part is going to go, because we don't really have any definite information towards regular Rise picks, because the Korchak pick, well, anything goes for Korchaks, really.
Yeah, Korchak is really its separate little thing. You usually do see like very specific players that excel at Korchak like only. And then on the other side of things, there's a lot of players that are really strong at Rice, but maybe struggle a little bit at Korchak at the same time. Oh, I see. I'm getting word that this title is actually The Life.
Yeah, this is pronounced The Life.
Interesting. I see. Caesar ciphering. I am unfortunately not able to do that in my head on the spot.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Imagine
I mean,
just casters shifting letters 13 away, just in their head. It's just like
wish.
mental math.
That would be cool. Mental math, but with letters. I can't, unfortunately. I don't have that strong ability at shifting letters across. But anyway, that is the title now, and it's good to know that.
Yeah, what a life we are living right now.
Okay, we'll see how this one goes. We are seeing Dornex staying in. And Bran and that guy 1 bit, so 2 players switching for Indonesia.
Yeah, Fieri just carrying Indonesia on their shoulders. Huge responsibility.
Yeah, and actually this time Turk's off to a little bit of a rough start, but still plenty of time to recover. It's still a very strong accuracy overall. And oh, there we go. That's the first miss that we see. That guy 1 bit finds a very early miss there, but doesn't drop that much accuracy, importantly.
Yeah, those anchors are really, really chokeable, and maybe this beginning of the map is gonna be the hardest part of the map for some people.
This lead is not really that far apart. The accuracy lead definitely in favor of China, but that miss has not done a significant amount of damage just yet, but that one is going to, oh, double miss there from that guy 1 bit, down to 99.2, and this lead now is going to shoot all the way up.
99.3 at this stage of the map with 3 misses is like still really good, and Bran is going to miss as well, still keeping that accuracy, and like those misses are some stray notes that some players may have forgotten on the way, but no substantial accuracy drops yet.
Yeah, I mean, actually, Bran's accuracy really did not drop at all, despite that 1 miss, which is kind of crazy to say. But 99.6 for Bran, 99.77 for Fieri right now, actually the second highest in the lobby. So those two players are absolutely keeping up with China in terms of the accuracy, at least.
Yeah, well, speaking of China, Donex is still on 99.8, and the 2 other players are teetering on 99.7, so it's going to be really hard for Indonesia to catch back up at the later half of this map. Like, this map, remember, is really short.
Yeah, I mean, really hard, you say. I think it's impossible unless China find a miss, like, anywhere, somewhere. China's just not missing.
Yeah, remember, this is Indonesia's pick, by the way, so this is going to be a breakpoint again, setting Indonesia in a pretty bad situation.
Yeah, and I mean, like, again, I can kind of see the idea from Indonesia picking this. You can see the scores. You can see their accuracy is actually really strong overall. We see the 1-200 coming out from Fieri. I mean, China as a whole getting 2 200s per person, though, and 0 misses for China means that there's just not really any avenue into this for Indonesia in this map, despite having really strong scores themselves.
Yeah, honestly, like, if you compare Donex and Fieri, both of those players can match one another more or less. It kind of depends on the 2 other players, how they're going to go. And, well, having 2 other players in the lineup kind of depends on everyone's individual proficiency on individual picks at this point.
Yeah, and again, I mean, the accuracy from Bran was pretty much the same as the accuracy from Turks. So, like, Bran and Turks having very similar accuracies. That guy 1 bit was just a little bit further behind than some of the other players on China, but you could see that it could get very close. It's just the misses that are really preventing this match from getting out of hand for China.
Oh, they're going Rice again. Like, Rice is coming from China right now. They know they have the accuracy advantage and the physicality advantage. So I guess they're just going to run with it.
Yeah, I mean, if China are just confident that they're not going to miss, that's fine. This is a fine pick in that case, right? Because so far they haven't. Unless we're counting the SV picks, China have just not found a single miss so far. So if they keep that up, then of course this is going to be a super strong pick, because this is one that is extremely hard to last the entire way without feeling some kind of tired or like fatigue and finding some kind of mistake towards the end.
$250 BPM in quarterfinals. What has the world come to?
Yeah, 2024. Just these players, like, what they're on something else now. They're just on a completely different level to, like, the physicality that we've been seeing, you know, years ago.
Yeah, how do we even find songs to map at this BPM?
We're gonna have to start upgrading.
Nightcore.
Nightcore World Cup, let's go. I mean, technically, this song is already a lot of like a mashup of a lot of other songs that has been upgraded, essentially.
Yeah, this is essentially bellified Nightcore. This is Nightcore but better.
Nightcore with extra steps.
Nightcore plus.
But let's see, because this does not have any breaks, and it's almost 3.5 minutes long. 250 BPM with no breaks means that I would be very surprised if I did not see a dip in accuracy in the second half of this map, at the very least. actually, so far, the accuracies are fairly close because I don't know what is actually a little bit behind some of the other players in the lobby. 99.7, Yanga also around that 99.7 range. But it's just Dawn X, the one that's unmatched on the side of China.
Yeah, I think it helps Indonesia a lot that this pick is a lot more consistent. The Gemstream pick is going to be less prone to choke than the technical pick. And as I say that...
That's a very strange place to find a miss for Nyas and Fanboy. Very unfortunate. Maybe letting off a little bit too much tension during that like slower section there.
Yeah, honestly, like sometimes the breaks are the hardest part of the maps.
Yeah, for sure, but that's going to give a bit of an advantage over to Indonesia because this accuracy is looking very strong for Indonesia as well. Yanga does drop a little bit below, which is not going to help too much, but Nyas and Fanboy also dropping in accuracy a little bit means that it's still close.
This would be a really uncommon breakpoint for Indonesia, but one that they direly need at this point. Oh, what happened?
Yanga dropped a lot of accuracy there, down to 99.58, now getting dangerously low, and that is completely countering out the miss that we saw earlier from Nyas and Fanboy.
Yeah, it goes to show that combo is not enough to keep your advantage here.
And now just all three players.
Oh no!
Yanga finding. Oh, there's the stamina. That's what we mean by stamina running out. It's second half now. There's so much of the map left, but none of the players have had any break. You know, how can you keep up the same level of accuracy, the same level of comfort as this map keeps going on?
And China is looking as consistent as ever. Like outside of that miss, they've been destroying this map.
Yeah, I mean, especially looking at Dawn X right now in particular, holding that 99.93 for what it feels like the entire, 3 minutes so far. Oh, and of course, just as I say that, I think that was a 100 from Dawn X.
Wow. Yeah, honestly, this is one of the reasons why we are surprised to see China in the losers bracket. Like, this is a losers bracket match.
Yeah, I mean, China just has so much physicality on their team. They have so much tournament experience. Like, this is a team that when they get going, I fully expect them to be making a very deep run in this losers bracket. And they're showing exactly why right now. This is a very solid point for them again. And yeah, that was just 100 at the end for Dawn X. That would have been a even better than 1-20 ratio SS.
Dawn X's ratio compared to the rest of the lobby is actually insane. It's like, compare those ratios. Like, I've been saying that China has a very unified, almost clone-like performance, but here we can see some of the discrepancies between some of the players. Like, it is very subtle, but it is there.
Yeah, I mean, Dawn X has always been one of those players to have kind of ridiculous accuracies. Even at this BPM, being that comfortable is just crazy. And now, I mean, despite the one miss that they finally got, you know, China managing to bring it back with accuracy, and now they're already on match point, 5-1.
Yeah, match point, 1 point away from victory, and well, that victory was really unconventional to see. Like, we went through 2 SVs at the beginning of the match, starting from 2 SV protects. Like, this match has been really uncommon to see. Like, this might end up in a 6-1, or maybe even, well, it can either end up in a 6-1 or a tiebreaker the other way. Like, anything can happen at this point, because I think Indonesia is one of those teams that is capable of bringing it back, especially on a hybrid pick right now.
Oh, and not just any hybrid pick. This is what I would imagine to be a big chokefest hybrid pick. There is so many like the patterns in this one just look evil. Basically, this is so hard to be able to maintain any kind of combo.
Yeah, as far as I remember, this is a collab map between some pretty renowned and evil hybrid mappers.
And I was kind of going to say, I was going to give a shout out for Indonesia to maybe be picking the TV size map because, you know, one miss on a TV size map does a lot of damage in terms of the score. So I'm always kind of looking towards that kind of thing for, you know, teams that are maybe looking to get back or have a bit of a comeback in a match. But this one as well, I mean, kind of following the same kind of principle, big choke potential. If China messes up one of these bursts, that can tank the accuracy quite a lot. It's very hard to get a clean miss here.
I haven't heard Sakura burst in a while. It's always really refreshing to hear their pristine sound design, and this pristine sound design in turn gives a lot of room to really set those really abrasive and chokeable bursts that we're gonna see right now.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of this song as well, this is the second time this song in particular has been featured in the World Cup since the TOEF map years past. But let's see how Indonesia fares on this one. They're looking to get one more on the board here. So far, everyone off to a very good start. No early accuracy drops here in the intro, but it's about to get into the main section here as we're building up in the song.
Yeah, it's just the warm-up compared to the main parts of the map.
And, oh, these bursts transitioning into the LNs is what can...
requires a lot of coordination for sure, and all of those players in the lobby right now nailing those.
Yeah, a little bit of backdrop from Brand there, but no big deal. It's still 99.6 just about. And still, importantly, the combo is what is really going to matter right now.
No! As you mentioned
said everything. Should not have said it. I'm sorry, Wishy Knight. But still high accuracy for Wishy Knight. Still 99.64. That was a fairly clean miss.
Yeah, honestly, still above Brand's performance right now, and it is really important that they keep this accuracy alive because China is keeping it alive.
That was not one of the notes. That was not one of the notes that I expected anyone to miss on out of all of the bursts. I think Turks missed in between the bursts somehow. But Wishy Knight does find a miss back, so that was traded back and forth. China's still going to hold on to this lead by about 10,000 points.
Yeah, honestly, this map is really conducive to really clean misses because there's a lot of ways you can just forget one note here and there.
Do have a little bit of an LN section coming up here, I believe, or a bit of a, I should say, more extended section with some of these speed parts. Oh, and Bran finds another miss there for Indonesia. It's looking like China are going to start running away with this as well.
Yeah, Bran falling prey to the speed section, like the speedier, dumpier sections. Oh no, that's... Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and we're towards the end of the map already. This is 20, 27, 8, or 30,000 points already in the favor of China. And China still have two full combos on their team. Just Fieri on Indonesia is trying to hold it together, but it is looking like China are going to seal the match right now, and they are going to be taking the match 6-1 over Indonesia. Unfortunately, Indonesia are going to be eliminated from the tournament here in the losers bracket, but a very strong showing from them throughout the entire tournament. China going to be moving forward, but not quite to the semifinals just yet, because of course this is the losers bracket now in the quarterfinals, which means China do have to win one more match this weekend if they want to make it forward to the semifinals.
Yeah, speaking of second match, like, I do not know. Well, nobody knows who they're going to be facing in the second match, but whoever they may be facing in the second match is going to be really scared because those scores from China were really, really strong, and it would take an equally insane team to go against China and take down China in the losers bracket.